welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. We're continuing on in our sketchbook series, and today we're on page 23, and I was just in the mood to do a fall page today. I have some fall pictures left, and I happen to have 3 pictures, which works well with this particular sketch. So I was looking at what I have left over in the fall. They actually used a laser cut page on this, and it's beautiful, but I don't have that. And I am pulling scraps from what I have left over because I don't really want to open lots more packs to do some of these fall pages. So this particular sheet of paper you're probably going to love. And it was out of an incentive pack. It was called Holidays. And it was a designer paper pack that had 6 different holidays. And I gave these at my open house. And I had this fall one left over. So I wanted to use that because I like the leaves. This is going to be the page that my pictures will actually go on. If you look at the sketch, there's a background behind that. And I pulled this from the Autumn Harvest collection, which will be my background. It matches really nicely with the oranges in there. There is a strip that goes across here that is 3 1/4 by 12. And I found this nice brown piece that's left over. And then they've also done a border along the bottom. So I pulled another piece of this to do my border along the bottom just to bring my colors around. So that's what I'm using. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do is cut this piece that we're actually going to build the page on because we know our full background is going to stay a 12 by 12. This inside piece is 11 1/2 by 11 1/2. That's what my white is going to be. So all I have to do is cut a 1/2 inch off of it each way. And I'm going to cut the 1/2 inch off of the bottom so I actually keep most of my leaf design. And I'm cutting off some of that white space. I did feel like this was a good color choice because my pictures are kind of dark. They were taken on our front porch and our house is wooden. And I felt like having the whiter background would really brighten this page up some. So that's one of the reasons I opted to go with this particular paper. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that. And I'm looking, you know what, maybe I won't stick it because if I look right here, this border actually ends on this paper rather than going onto the orange. So let's go ahead and cut our border and put it on. And then we can just trim it off at the same time. So I'm using this pumpkin-y paper, and I'm going to use the leaf punch. This is an older one from our older Creative Memories collection, but I like it with the different modeled papers that have a little bit of pattern to them because it makes the leaves look a little more realistic. And I felt like this would be a good option for this leaf punch since it's got the oranges that coordinate so nicely. And remember, when you're using the border punches, you just cover up the blue each time. Don't just slide it randomly. Cover up your blue space each time so you can get a good cut. All right, we're through with that. And I'm going to pull my mat and my repositionable tape, and we will just add those leaves. Now, the back side of this is even pretty with this yellow. If you've watched me very much, you probably have heard me say I'm just not really a yellow person. So I didn't want to go with the yellow. I preferred to go with the orange instead. I'm not necessarily an orange person either, but I like the orange better than the yellow, especially with my background page. And I'm just going to kind of line that up. I'm looking at the spacing here and trying to get it about the same here and here. And look how the outline of those pumpkins ends up making it almost look like veins in the leaves. I think that's a pretty nice look. So let's go back to our trimmer and just trim that little edge off right there. And all I'm doing is lining that up on the cut line here. And we've got that trimmed up. So now we can put it onto this. And I'm going to use my regular tape for that. I think this is going to be a pretty quick layout. And you notice Creative Memories does a lot of layouts where you trim off a little on the top, you layer it. I know that is specifically so we'll use more paper. Some of you who are very frugal with your paper, I know you cut out the inside of this back page so you can use that more. I am trying to use up scraps, so I'm not necessarily all about cutting out the back side of that paper. This one, the one that's going across, is going to be 3 1/4. It says 3 1/4 by 12. Strangely enough, though, it's not 12 because it doesn't go over the outside. So I'm going to do this 3 1/4. I may cut it 3 1/4. I don't know. I kind of like the wideness of that. Maybe a little overpowering. We'll go to 3 1/4. We'll do it the way they say. But then I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch of this, so it is going to fit onto the white area and not go across the outside page too. So I've got that. We'll just go ahead and tape that down. I'm going to kind of scoot it down to the bottom a little bit more than they have it probably, because I do want to keep a lot of the leaves showing, and I am trying to cover up some of this white space along the bottom at the same time. All right, so we've got all of that, and looks like we need to put on pictures and then add a few embellishments. So let's see what we've got as far as our pictures are concerned. Now I pulled these 3. They're not going to fit the sizing of those, which is fine with me. But let me pull my personal trimmer, and we'll decide what we can crop out. And these, again, were just the decorations on my front porch during the fall. We had brought our little granddaughter here for a few days, and she was so excited to go outside. Not to see my fall decorations, but because we were going to swing. And I did get her to touch them a little bit. She's just not big on touching things if she's not sure she's supposed to. So I did get her to touch them a little bit. I was hoping she would kind of pick at the pumpkins and I could get a really good picture. But, you know, she just didn't cooperate in that respect. So because of the darker backgrounds on these pictures, I don't necessarily even need matting. And I think I may leave it. And let's see. They've kind of overlapped here with a big embellishment. I'm not going to do a big embellishment up there. And this is going to be a right-hand page to another page that I'll have on my left side. So I was looking, I have this embellishment cluster I did out of the Autumn Harvest. It's got the tree wood, the So Very Thankful, and I used foam square for that, and then the leaves. And I think what I'm going to do is add them right down here. And then probably pull me a little journaling box to go here to tell about it. And that will make this coordinate with the other page on the other side. I'm not going to mat. I know that is not very common for me. But on this page, I feel like I don't need it. I feel like the pictures stand out well against the background. And I'm just going to try to even this up. I'm looking at the spacing along this brown line right here, just trying to even that up a little bit. When I overlap, I'm not really taking out anything except my doorbell and the top of my door. I am going to leave a little white space here. I feel like that helps us distinguish among the pictures. It helps them not to look too crowded and like they run over each other. And here again, this white background gives me just enough to distinguish among the pictures without them looking too busy together. There's a lot going on in the pictures, but having that little white background around the outside edges, I think really helps that. And because this has already been put together with some foam squares, all I need to do is add my tape on the back of it. And again, this is from the Autumn Harvest collection, so all of this stuff coordinates really nicely. And all I've got to do is add a date and some journaling. And that is sketch page 23. How easy is that? Hope you like this sketch. I hope you'll give it a shot. This is one of the easier ones we've done lately. Doesn't take a lot of time, but a nice result, I think. So let me know how you like it. Let me know what you don't like about it. And we'll just keep plugging along in our sketchbook. Until next time, happy scrapping.